No, so this guy died reacted to earlier. He called him this, but no, he made another video.
Alex Griffin. I covered this dude a while ago. He did the religion video. He's kind of closer to No Villains Are Safe. Kind of recaps episodes and just says like the most shallow stuff. Like, yep, that's what the joke is or whatever. Like, that's basically from Alex Griffin. I think the reason that I'm drawn to this Family Guy Hates America is because what Alex Griffin does that I think is kind of unique about him is that he will have video topics that could be really interesting discussions, like how Family Guy discusses religion was the other one, and this one is about more like, you know, I guess America. And just repeat jokes and not commentary. So I like to examine how a good video like this could have existed. I'm a little bit clowning. This is clearly a flop of his. It only got 8.9K views. Even his next one got 58K. He has really been failing lately. Like all AI channels, they're all failing. Like, look, he had a couple that were like millions of views. Like, he's on million view videos, and now he's just barely scratching like 10K. 36K is like a high point. So like Family Guy Hates America didn't do very well. And I acknowledge that like I'm not really criticizing this video from a like, ooh, like how did people watch this? Because like no one watched this video. No one actually watched this video. But I still think it'll be a fun one to go over. So let's just get right into it. I also think it's odd that Peter is wearing the MAGA hat. Like, isn't that odd that he's wearing it?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Because Peter represents like Family Guy itself. So like, in Family Guy, you know, I whenever I talk about Family Guy, I always get people who are like, well, Family Guy just keeps like making jokes about Republicans, which clearly just means that they're a Republican who's like offended that they're being called out for their heinous beliefs in a television show. So like, I don't have any problem with Family Guy making jokes about Republicans. In fact, you should make jokes about Republicans and point out how awful they are in joke form. I think that's fine. But it's weird that Peter's wearing the MAGA hat, because usually Family Guy is like anti-MAGA. They're not always like some like bastion of wokeness. The Rush Limbaugh episode that I think was way too charitable to that absolutely evil man. You know, sometimes they'll make like jokes about like, you know, they're not like, they definitely been transphobic. They're being like less transphobic recently, but they had like one joke in a recent episode where like Chris said something about like how like Lois like had like her like swimming records in high school like beaten by like trans athletes or whatever, which is like misinformation. It's like not true, but when you say it in joke form, people will think it's true. Someone's stupid, which is most right wingers, if they watch that, they'll be like, oh, like yeah, they're smashing records when like the data does not support that sort of thing. If you disagree with that, don't bother commenting. I'm going to just delete your comment. I don't really need you lying in the comment section. So let's just go into this. Family Guy Hates America. Starts off with 13 seconds of footage from the Victoria episode.
So y'all about to challenge me?
Cool.
What are you talking about? Thanks to a technicality, we have the right to secede from the U.S.
Dude, this is 20 seconds.
What?
This is playing the episode.
This day forth, this territory will be known as Victoria.
Peter Griffin found out his house wasn't on the map and somehow landed on the dumbest possible solution. He put up criticizing the character for being a character. And the insane part is, it worked. The mayor didn't stop him. The cops didn't stop him. The weird part is, it worked, yes, because it's a cartoon and was taking a funny cartoon premise of what if a character's house was a country. That's the premise of the episode. The funny thing, yeah, this would not work in real life, guys. It would not work in real life. This has never happened, actually, where someone's house is technically not in America and they declare their own country. It is the premise of a cartoon episode, yes. And it's used to tell a meaningful story, because Peter, this is an early season episode where Family Guy was still told decent. I mean, new Family Guy can tell good stories too. Not every episode is trash, the whole thing. But, you know, on average, Family Guy was a little better back then when it comes to telling actual stories. And it was about Peter being arrogant, and the power going to his head, and all this sort of stuff. Like, there were actual themes in the episode, and that was the reason that it turned into his own country. Federal government showed up with tanks because Peter Griffin said, it's a cartoon, dude. I get mad at people who are like, it's a cartoon. This is a time where that is valid. Someone saying, the federal government showed up with tanks because Peter said his house was a country. Yes, it's a cartoon. Like, that is what happens in cartoons. Defend that in a real way. It is how the cartoon tells its story. It uses this crazy situation of the government showing up with tanks to a guy's house because he says his house is a country to tell a story about that character, to say that Peter is an arrogant person and he learns to be less arrogant and he learns to be more humble because of this experience, because of this exaggerated experience. That's how cartoons work. So criticizing that, I don't know if it's even, is it even criticizing that or is it criticizing the character? I don't even know what it's doing. But like, let's say it's criticizing that. It's like, that's what cartoons do, you know?
I'm a country now, and America basically went, yeah, that sounds official. That's the joke. But it's also what this...
That is good.
That's the take.
Family Guy's America is fake, broke, bought, scared, and dangerously easy to fool. And once you know what is that, the show starts looking a lot meaner.
Okay, so it actually has a thesis. So it's saying that the portrayal of America in Family Guy is a kind of America that you can like easily manipulate, like how Peter did in the Victoria episode. I am actually kind of surprised that it has even that thesis. Let's see if it does something with it.
America is way easier to scam than it wants to admit. And Victoria isn't even where that show stops.
Okay, so it's saying that America in the world of Family Guy is easy to scam, which obviously is like a commentary. Like it even said like it's like bought. Like it's referring to, well, I don't know why it shows the episode where they won the lottery. That doesn't really have anything to do with America. But like, I guess what it's kind of saying. Okay, so like this, no, that's Victoria. I'll take an example. There's one episode where it was during like the Bush era, and there was a cutaway where Peter was like in like Congress or something, and Peter goes, "Yeah, well, you know, anyone who doesn't want to go to war is gay," and all of the congressmen are like, "We got to go to war. I always wanted to go to war," and the joke is that like they're so easily manipulated by like this like macho stuff that they will get the country into war. It's pretty simple social commentary, and I 100% agree. Like the statement that, I mean, it's not, they don't literally get into wars because of that, but that is essentially what it's trying to say, is that these men who start wars start them for such petty reasons. They might as well be starting wars just to prove that they aren't gay. And it's also a joke on how most Republican politicians are secretly gay. Both things that are factually true. So, like, that joke is kind of what it's referring to here, is that, like, it's painting America as, like, a place that you can easily scam and manipulate using, like, silly loopholes, is what the thesis of this is. So let's see how it goes and discusses that. Let's see if it has anything interesting to say about that.
Because once Peter realizes nobody's checking, he immediately begins colonizing Joe's pool.
Good morning, Joe. Peter, what are you doing in my pool? Oh, this is the newest province of...
Wait, is this just a Victoria recap? No, it's not. There's other episodes. Okay, I was like, is this going to be a recap of the Victoria episode? He's saying that Peter colonizes Joe's pool because America's easy to manipulate, but that's not actually true in the episode. That's the reason that America attacks Peter. So let's see if it says something about that.
Well, according to paragraph 7, sentence 3, word 8 of the Geneva Convention. Black Swanson.
Joe is literally a cop. Joe is the law on Spooner Street, and Joe just sits there while his whole thing gets annexed because Peter said he the convention out loud with enough confidence. That's all it took.
That's not all it took. He broke into his house and he wouldn't leave. Wait, what is Joe supposed? He says that Joe's not on duty. You're saying that Joe should have. Joe reports it, right? That's why the government. What are you talking about? Joe makes this happen with the government. However, Joe went through the process to remove Peter from his pool. So I don't know why it's saying that Joe didn't do enough, and that means that like America is portrayed as dumb in Family Guy. It's just not. Joe is not the law. That's not how the police work. Yeah, Joe wasn't on duty. Him being a cop doesn't have anything to do with that. Joe was just a regular citizen in that scene.
No one fact checks Peter Griffin.
They did fact check Peter Griffin. Within the universe of the show, Peter's house was not in America, so he declared it his own country. That did happen. So they did fact check it. This AI channel just doesn't know what happened in the episode.
We're about to commence Operation Bomb the Crap Out of Your House. The guy who thinks up the names is on vacation. Fire.
They just show up with tanks as their first response. The U.S. military rolls up the bomb in your place because a dumb guy sat at his neighbor's pool, and the operation is simple.
That's not. What are you talking about? This is so wrong. Dude, watch the episode. They go to his house they go to bomb his house because his house is a different country by the logic of the show. Like, you have to follow the logic that the show is making. It's not he went and sat in his neighbor's pool. The point is that he invaded Joe's pool, and that's the joke, is that he just invaded his neighbor's pool, but he invaded America, basically. So they responded the way that you would if someone invaded America. That's the joke here. Like, are you actually missing the point of that? Like, what?
Lauren Conrad, yes, LC, somehow gives the cleanest diagnosis of America's relationship with intelligence. This doesn't make any sense. If you're so smart, why do you hide it?
Come on, Brian. You know America doesn't like smart people. They elected Bush twice.
Yeah, once, but so this whole...
So that joke is not about American policy. That joke is about American culture. The thing that Lauren Conrad said, not the thing that Brian said, which is about, that's a reference to the whole, Florida Supreme Court, like, something with, like, Al Gore should have won in 2000, something like that. That's the joke that Brian is saying. That's why he says once. I'm pretty sure that's why he says once. If that joke means something else, I'm not sure. But that's not the joke I'm really commenting on. That's about American culture, not American policy. I mean, I guess that still could be hates America, like you think that American culture promotes people being dumb instead of smart. Okay, so here's what Alex Griffin is saying. Alex Griffin is saying that Family Guy hates America because Brian is dating the celebrity, and the celebrity, I don't know who the celebrity is. I don't really know what the comment is on the episode, but like apparently she is known for being like dumb in pop culture, but in the episode she's actually really smart. And she says that the reason that she acts dumb is because America hates smart people. So Alex Griffin is arguing that by saying that this celebrity would act like she's dumb in order to pander to America is saying that that Family Guy, the show, hates America because Family Guy is unfairly saying that America panders to dumb people. You now have to prove the contrary then. Family Guy made the claim of that. I mean, I guess you could say the burden of proof is on Family Guy. Like maybe Family Guy needs to provide more evidence of that. I don't know. I don't know if they're under obligation to provide specific evidence for it. But I just feel like if you're going to refute that, you need to be like, well, actually, American culture does value intelligence. Like, I mean, I know it doesn't. Like, look at media illiteracy out there. Like, I'm not really going to sit here and be on Alex Griffin's side. I actually think that she's more correct, and the statement that Family Guy is making in this scene is more correct in talking about that social problem. But you have to actually provide more of a counter argument than just saying she said it. That means that Family Guy hates America. Let's see if there actually is a counter argument.
America doesn't like smart people. Family Guy took a Brian romance plot, handed the smartest line to a reality TV star, and used her to call the whole country dumb in 8 seconds. Okay, so America...
I don't think she called the whole country dumb. I think she said that on average, Americans value dumb people, which I think is like objectively true. Well, I mean, I guess dumb is subjective, but I think if you like ran the numbers of like the popularity of like things like reality TV, provided you're going on those standards, I think you're kind of arguing from a losing position there.
They're all idiots in Washington. Instead of a smart guy, we should send a moron they can relate to. Harvard lawyers, lobbyists, a wisecracking leprechaun.
Harvard lawyers lobby. This is the Family Guy Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh was not a lobbyist. Rush Limbaugh was a pundit. So I don't know why you're using him as the image. It's weird.
None of it works. So the move is find a moron Congress can relate to. Honestly, this episode is just too accurate. And in case that felt too subtle...
Wait, this episode is too accurate. You said Family Guy hates America. Are you on their side or not? Your title is called Family Guy Hates America. So you're just like, you're all over the place. Are you trying to talk in favor, against? Like, what is it? This episode is just too accurate. So you do think that the politicians are idiots. So why are you saying that Family Guy hates America? Wait, wouldn't that mean that you love America? If you point out that the politicians in your country are idiots, that means that you love America because you say our politicians are idiots. I want them to not be idiots. Right? Like, I think hating America would be that you're happy that the politicians are idiots. Because then they will screw up the country and make America worse. If you hate America, that's what you want.
The episode Tea Peter just says the quiet part out loud. Peter joins the Tea Party.
Dude, he said that so many times in the other video, right? Alex Griffin just says the quiet part out loud. Was that Alex Griffin? Who kept saying says the quiet part out loud? It's a very common AI thing. Is he like No Villains Are Safe or Scribble? He's kind of No Villains Are Safe. He's like lower budget No Villains Are Safe. Alex Griffin, and he only does Family Guy. I say that that's the closest. But Alex Griffin also goes into some spicier territories, like the American stuff.
Gets a Trico Matt marches in a rally led by Salt of the Earth American named Joe Workingman.
I like how it just said,
Marches in a rally led by Salt of the Earth American named Joe Workingman.
led by Salt of the Earth American named Joe Workingman. Do you know who Joe Workingman is in the episode? It's Carter Pewterschmidt in a poor disguise. Joe Workingman is not a real person. And Alex Griffin is describing it as if Joe Working, like, if I was gonna talk about this episode, if I was gonna comment on this episode, and I brought up the Joe Workingman character, I'd be like, yeah, Joe Workingman, it's Carter in a disguise, which represents how rich people will act like they have the interests of the working man at heart. But you just say, with a guy named Joe Workingman, and you leave out that context? Holy AI. The AI just thinks that Joe Workingman is its own character. The AI doesn't even know that it's also Carter Pewterschmidt. Unless it's specifically talking about it. Like if it's talking about the scene, if you get AI to talk about the scene where Joe Workingman is revealed as Carter Pewterschmidt, then I mean, it's obvious to the audience, but it gets revealed to Peter later on. It's Peter's job to notice. If you talk about the scene where Peter finds out that it's Carter Pewterschmidt, then the AI would understand. But the AI would just look at it and go, "That's Joe Workingman," because he says he's Joe Workingman, and that's what it's doing here. That's the mistake it's making here.
Tea Party isn't the grassroots movement you think it is. It's actually funded by big business types who are using you to get the government out of their way so they can roll over everyone.
The Tea Party isn't grassroots. It's funded by big business types using working class guys to do their lobbying for them.
No commentary yourself.
Doesn't even dress it up. He just says it at the kitchen table. And the show isn't just making fun of one.
He doesn't even dress it up. He just says that, yeah, it's a political episode. And that is real. That was a real problem back then. Tea Party's not really a thing anymore. This was what, like probably like 2010-ish, 2012. Tea Party is basically when like to MAGA. That's kind of an oversimplification, but it's a little like that. So Brian is just kind of stating what that was back then. That it's like it tries to be this like freedom for the working man, but it is funded by like oligarchs and stuff like that. The episode not allowed to just say what the thing is describing is like not every moment has to be like a joke, especially if it's a political episode. That the point of it is to point out a political issue to a mass audience. That's the point of that episode. And there are ways that it doesn't do it perfectly. Like there are. Like I could probably criticize that episode for how it did it. But that part with Brian is pretty spot on. It's pretty exact. It's exactly pointing out the hypocrisy in a way that an average person might not have understood. So I don't really get what you mean by saying he just says it at the kitchen table unprompted or whatever.
It's making fun of how easy it is to rebrand corporate money as regular people being mad. Then Brian walks in and
why is that Family Guy hating America? Again, you have to like America to want to point that out because it means you want to make America better.
reveals who Joe Workingman really is.
See, it reveals who Joe Workingman really is. See, it gets it now, but then it just says Joe Workingman. You know that Joe Workingman is Carter the first time you see him because he looks like Carter in a bad disguise. You're just like, oh, like you get the like a human would get the joke immediately as soon as Carter appears and he says, "I'm Joe Workingman," and he's wearing the hard hat and he's clearly Carter. You get the joke, and AI doesn't. Like, that's a reveal. He learns who Joe Workingman is.
He wants to get rid of environmental regulations for you.
Brian, he doesn't get sarcasm.
No, it's not just environmental regulations, Brian. Carter wants to get rid of the whole city government and cohort.
Carter Pewterschmidt, billionaire, owns the oil refineries. Wants the government gone because the government is the only thing regulating him. So,
They just said that in the scene.
Carter basically bought a protest of more like work clothes. That's not America. I don't know what is.
Wait, so you are agreeing? Okay, well, I was assuming that Alex Griffin was like saying that it was like too critical of America. If that's not America, I don't know what is. But like, that's not a take, by the way. Like, that's not a like you're just repeating what happened in the episode with no further commentary. You would need to actually examine, like what I